All right, folks. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good after high noon. Man, what an interesting morning it was so far with the S&P 500 and the market just kind of imploding there and then rebounding. So we got a lot to talk about there. Let me go through my personal. Hang on, I need to update this slide because I just got filled on XLK long bull put spread / calls, and then long XLK. Bull put spread. Got to make sure we got the most up-to-date information to properly disclose everything that I have going on here. Okay, so I'm long in my personal accounts, Amazon synthetic stock. I'm long Amazon shares, 200 shares of Amazon. Long Marathon. I also have an SPX bull put spread on for today, which we'll talk about in a couple seconds. And I bought some calls. I already bought some puts. Made like $3,000 as the market imploded on some puts, and then bought some calls as it's exploding here. I mean, geez, we might even go positive for the day. And then just got into an XLK bull put spread, and that's going to be our weekly options trade for the week. I already sent it out via text and email. So all of my current members should have received that. Real quick reminder of what the flight schedule is for Full Throttle this week. We did our welcome aboard brief last night. Hopefully everybody got a chance to either attend or watch the replay. Let me hook you up with the replay page while I'm at it. Oh, real quick, January 25th, real quick, family first, right? In Naperville, Illinois, man, in the middle of a snowstorm at night, my princess was born. Keely Grace Buckley was born. She turns 13 today. I have a teenage girl. Thankfully, I just bought a blackout 300 AR-15. I have a well-regulated militia, and then she has two older brothers that play hockey and want to serve her country. So, that's. I think she's going to be okay. But today's Keely's birthday. Going to do cake and dinner and all sorts of stuff tonight. So happy birthday, my beautiful princess. Okay, here's the replay page right here. The replay from last night is obviously on there. So please bookmark this page. This replay will be on there. All the replays will be on here. And like I said last night, I kept the replays on here from the February Full Throttle because we nailed it. Told you the market was going to implode, to get out as all the smart money sat there and said, oh, no, buy the dip. Wrong. Yeah, that was bad. We nailed it. Smart money sucks. And they're continuing to suck. We're in the weekly options brief right now. Tomorrow at 10, we'll probably open up the doors. We only take 50. Each Full Throttle, we take 50 because we want a nice tight-knit squadron. I don't want hundreds and thousands of people in these briefs. It would drive me nuts. So we take a select few, and we'll open the door here. Wednesday at noon, we're going to do the AR Accelerated Retirement Brief, and then Wednesday night, we're going to wrap up with a sample of what the Full Throttle training looks like. Okay, let's kick off weekly options. I already sent out the text alert. That's what it looks like. I just took a quick screenshot of it to show non-members what this looks like. So I just literally copy from the order form and then paste it into our text system. So that's what the text looks like. And then over here, I'll show you what the email looks like. So this is the email that you get when you become a member. So it's redundant, right? So we not only send out a text alert, we also send out an email. And in the email is actually a screenshot of the trade setup, the cost, and then also obviously the risk. We'll step through this trade in a couple minutes and our trade plan, why I'm in it, the commit criteria and all that stuff. But this is, I just want to show all the non-members how our plumbing works. Hans, where do you find the replays? It's go.topgunoptions.com/FT. That stands for Full Throttle Replay. I put that link in the chat box over on your right. Over in your little control panel for GoToWebinar, there's a chat section, and you should see the link for the replays. Okay, it's over in there. Howard, how can we participate if we don't do spreads yet? Howard, we do all sorts of tactics that aren't just spreads. We buy calls, sell puts. We do all sorts of stuff. Perfect example today. Look at this. I bought, as the market imploded this morning, I bought the 38.15 puts, straight put buy, made about $3 grand and got out. Why? Because I sit here and I watch it. Now this is what I do, like in our investment squadron. This isn't Top Gun Options. I don't teach day trading. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. But as the market imploded, I just bought some puts. They made about $3 grand. I got out of those puts right here, and then I bought calls. So I do straight. So these calls right here, which are looking pretty damn good. Look at these. I bought out to Wednesday to give myself a little time because I know people are going to buy this dip. Bought calls, and those calls are already up about $2 grand in, I don't know, about 30 minutes ago. I bought those. So if you don't do spreads yet, you still have a home here. Okay. But yeah, if you want to trade spreads after you do your full throttle training, all you have to do is get a hold of your brokerage firm, and I think they send you like a new application or something like that to get level whatever authority. Senior moment there. Okay, let's get back. So I showed you the text alert. We'll get into our brief here in a second. Quick intro. We'll talk about how our portfolios did. We'll review our trade plan, and we'll talk about our weekly options trade that we already put on here, and then I'll take any questions. Last year, as we talked about last night, was just stupid, lights out trading. Never to be repeated, man, because that was literally a once in a lifetime event with this pandemic. And the smart money sitting there in Davos telling you, remember Ray Dalio, the world's largest hedge fund manager, sat in Davos and looked into the camera and said, cash is trash. Like, if you're in cash, you're an idiot. And then he promptly spent the rest of the year sucking. So taught you last night that the smart money isn't necessarily that smart. And they can be quite stupid. They missed the bottom. We didn't. There was 1 month, I think it was March, $2.1 million in trades that I covered live. Perfect example was like what happened today. Let's take a look at the chart of the SPX today. Remember that we had these type of days in February and March, like implosion just kept going down. And instead of saying, hey, let's buy the dip, we buy puts and just watch them. I remember some put trades making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 as this thing imploded, right? This isn't February, this isn't March. So literally over in our investment clubs over here, I typed that. I said, I would buy this dip, wherever it is up here. Whatever, I wrote it. I said, buy this dip, and we timed it perfectly right there. And here we go. We might even get back to almost positive for the day. So, okay, let's do our SOT, right? Strategic, operational, tactical. I'm going to treat you just like a normal member because they're all in here as well. I think we have like 690 or whatever. How many of those went out? Here's I was close, 690, 689. We have 689 members in the weekly options brief. I just sent out 689 texts and emails, but let's do our brief. Let's look around the globe. A lot of potential bad going on. We got Iran out there kind of licking their chops that Joe Biden is now president, and it's Obama, 3.0. Barack Hussein Obama flew billions of dollars in cash and unmarked airplanes in the middle of the night to the Iranian mullahs, the same mullahs who have killed over 600 Marines and soldiers. Does that make sense? And I love people who are like, well, it was her money. He was just giving it back. How about we divvy up that money and give it to the wife, the husband, the kids, the parents of the 608 soldiers and Marines that have been killed by Iran? Just call me crazy. I don't give money, quote, back to people who want to kill me and who are building a nuclear weapon. So Joe Biden is going to face a lot of tests around the world. He's facing one right now. The USS Theodore Roosevelt, which I flew off the Roosevelt, and great ship, good group of folks, great Americans. They're in the South China Sea. Chinese authorities authorizes Coast Guard to fire on foreign vessels if needed. The Taiwan Strait is turning into Joe Biden's first crisis. I told you last night, I predict In 2 to 4 years, they will take back Taiwan, whether with force or pseudo force like they did in Hong Kong. We will talk Wednesday about why I'm bullish on China, but there's the headline right there. How about that? China overtakes the United States as the world's leading destination of foreign direct investment. We're losing it, folks. We're losing to China, and they're just going to barrel right past us, right? You got to be bullish on a country that does whatever they want. As we sit here and watch Joe Biden sign executive orders about transgender athletes, could you imagine women have fought for rights and everything like that, and then all of a sudden now dudes can go over if they identify as a woman to compete in woman. I guess it's not women's sports, whatever. My point being is we're kind of not focusing on what's important. And this is what's important. China, Russia, Iran are digging where we are. Why am I talking like this? I'm talking like this, folks, because this is insanity. This is a forest that hasn't seen rain in a long time, and one little spark is going to cause this thing to implode. Take a look at today. Today is a perfect example of the Wall Street-ism that is this. Markets take the elevator up and the escalator down. I'm sorry, the elevator down, the escalator. Look at this. We're taking this escalator up right now, but what did we do? We didn't even take the elevator down today. We took a window. The market jumped out of a window. According to my bros and sisters in my mastermind group, it was a rather large. So this is a great teachable moment. This is what did I tell you last night? The Donald Rumsfeld, an unknown unknown. So this morning with my investment club folks, what did we do? What did I do? I put on a bull put spread. Futures were a little light. I'm like, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, this is going to be a blowout week for tech earnings. Amazon's next week. But guess what? Look at this. I put on a bull put spread. I'm sitting here literally fat, dumb, and happy. And what happened? This. So as I sat here, I'm like, what the heck is going on? So that's an unknown unknown. I don't know if it was a dude, a lady, a firm, somebody jumped in and dumped a bunch of stuff. I think, getting out in front of earnings, buy the rumor, sell the news. And once this happens, right, all the algos, algorithmic trading, the black boxes start kicking in as well. Where did we turn? I predicted this turn this morning. 3,800. Take a look at this chart. We called this last week. Right here, folks. I drew a little line right there. 3,800 was resistance, support. Where did that drill bit go down to today? 3,800. So we called it. So once the market hit 3,800 today, it was a buy signal for the algos as well. There was no, Schumer might have said, hey, the stimulus is taking a little long. Biden, travel restrictions to the EU and South Africa. He did that over the weekend. That wasn't today. So this was a big firm dude, lady dumping a lot. I've been in a firm where we've moved the market in our investment clubs in some names, in some ETFs earlier in the pandemic. We were moving the market as well. So just know that these type of things happen. You can be sitting here like me with my coffee, fat, dumb, and happy, bull put spread on right there, and that happens. And then, well, here's another big sell order right there. Sorry about that. Hopefully this morning you went to Office Depot or you have your trade journal or whatever it is to start taking notes, because here's you got to write this one down. The market only cares when it cares, right? The market only cares when it cares. It doesn't care right now that there might be war in the South China Sea. The market doesn't care about Iran right now. The market doesn't care about Russia right now. It will. Right there. I'll say it again. The market only cares when it cares. It doesn't care right now. Look at this. I am telling you for a fact, February will be a shit show, and we're going to make money as the market implodes. It's going to happen. But before somebody decided to push the market south, tech was looking great. Amazon, Apple, I'm hearing rumors of a billion, a B, a B for Apple earnings. I think it's going to be insane. Now, we might see another Wall Street ism: buy the rumor, sell the news. If you looked at all the financials, look at JP Morgan, perfect example. What did JP Morgan, we're pounding JP Morgan into the dirt and making it a lot of money. Look at JP Morgan. Ran up into earnings and then imploded. This is why sometimes retail traders who kind of just are sitting there on their own don't get it. JP Morgan reported the best earnings in the history of the company. And what happened? The stock sold off. That's why it's a Wall Street ism. It's a fact. Buy the rumor, sell the news. And then what happened? As Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, where'd the money go? Over into tech. Here's Goldman Sachs. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Morgan Stanley. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Now what's going on with Apple, Amazon? I'm not going to take up too much time. Look at this. Here comes earnings. It's most likely going to sell the news. We could see a huge spike on, oh my God, that's blowout numbers, but then there's going to be some rotation and profit taking. Does that make sense? So it's a Wall Streetism because it's a Wall Streetism. But let me get back to this. After tech earnings, well, let's take a look at the calendar. Let's take a look at this. To tomorrow, we guess Starbucks is a little, can't stand Starbucks, but Starbucks is maybe a good indicator of the health of the economy. Are people going out to eat? Microsoft tomorrow is a big one. I'm watching, obviously, Tesla on Wednesday could be insane or not. Boeing as well. McDonald's, Visa. We got some airlines coming out, American and Southwest. And then Friday, Caterpillar. So this is a big week, okay? This is a big week for earnings. Once we get through earnings, folks, we have February, one of the most volatile months in the year. And so we usually, this is the trajectory of the market this time of year. I've been doing this for 30 years. Santa Claus, rip your face off rally, kind of level as we get into Q4 earnings, which we're in right now, and then February ends up looking like this. I guarantee it. Okay, so get ready for that. Even if things are good, it's usually a time for profit taking. Okay. Ray Dalio coming to reality. I've been predicting this since February, folks. Ray Dalio, again, the world's largest hedge fund manager who said cash was trash. I had an article the other day that said we're on the brink of a civil war. I said this in February and March, folks. Definitely in March, I predicted this. With the Federal Reserve jumping in to save capitalism, we're sitting here printing money as I have friends who own restaurants in Fort Lauderdale are out of business or in bankruptcy. I'm not embarrassed. I mean, I stopped crowing about how good we're doing because it sucks. People, the Federal Reserve is literally, you want to talk, it's funny how Republicans can be against welfare or entitlements and stuff like that. And then here you got the Federal Reserve, you have Jerome Powell in 60 Minutes talking about how he just makes money and pushes it into the market. I know for a fact the New York Fed was buying stocks at some of the lows. Once the history of this is written, folks, the pandemic, the COVID-19 crash, the Federal Reserve operated most likely outside of its charter. Okay, now it saved the market, but as it's quote saving the market, and I get it, man. All interest is self-interest. What was happening to normal people? So this is very very interesting. Okay, very, very, very interesting. This was a huge article in that journal over the weekend. Bullish stock bets explode as major indices repeatedly set records. Wagers, I love this term. Not a trade. The journal uses the term wager. I don't wager. Wagers tied to Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia were among the most popular wagers recently. This article talks about the call buying that is going on, especially from who? Brand new retail traders. This article interviews a 21-year-old college student, a 28-year-old dude who just is learning how to trade options, and perfect example of how people who are new to the market think things only go up. This one guy in the articles talked about how he's like doesn't really understand puts or thinks he should learn how to use them, but it's insane. So price discovery has simply vanished. 800-pound gorilla fed for breaking the market. Look at this, folks. Look at the S&P 500. This is a great chart. There's the performance of the S&P 500. There's the consensus forward earnings per share a year out. Look at that chart. One's like that and one's like that. That delta between those two lines, folks, usually it connects at some point, and it's usually pretty violent. Non-profitable tech stock index. I'll let that chart sink into you. So here at Top Gun Options, we know, oh my God, look at the S&P price to sales ratio. You look at every metric, ladies and gentlemen, and we are overvalued. Now, again, I have to keep saying it, but mainly for me too. Excuse me. The market can remain irrational longer than you can stay solvent. We talked about this last night. Alan Greenspan sat in front of the Senate or the House and said, the market is experiencing irrational exuberance. Oh my God, the market's going to implode. For 3 years, it kept going up after he said those words. So, so we have got to be Johnny on the spot with getting ready for a pullback, which I think will happen in February. So, all right. That is our strategic and operational brief. Took me 22 minutes, about 20 minutes, because I had to do a little quick intro. Now let's get tactical and take a look at a trade. So XLK is the tech sector ETF. It's the Select Spider Technology Sector Fund. It's a good proxy for the tech stocks, right? It's a basket of tech stocks. So instead of just picking an Microsoft or an Amazon, you get a basket of them. So this has less volatility than, and actually Amazon isn't in this, I misspoke, that's in the XLY. But the XLK is a good proxy for tech. Now, I looked at a bull put spread for the week. So let's go through our our 7-step trade plan. Step 1 in our trade plan is, what's your strategic mindset? Folks, I could not draw a bigger C on the screen for cautiously and a little B. I am massively cautiously bullish. You have to be bullish in this market. There are retail traders jumping over the fence to get into this market. Everybody's bullish right now, which obviously is the time for a guy like me to start walking towards the back of the room or the theater and get ready to yell fire. I'm ready for the fire. But for now, going into tech earnings, I am cautiously bullish. What's my target? The target is the XLK, the technology sector ETF, XLK. Okay. Now, commit criteria. I kind of mumbled through it, but essentially that's that 3 to 5 sentences. Folks, I think the rumors are Apple over $1 billion. Microsoft, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon are rumored to be nuts. At 2 o'clock today, we have a brief called Solo Amazon. It's a separate service from Full Throttle, but we're going to talk in Solo Amazon about, take a look at the chart of Amazon real quick. Huh. That doesn't look like Amazon, Wiz. It doesn't. Does that? Yeah, it does. So I've confirmed this more or less with some smart people. You see this past 2-3 months, usually after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas, Amazon comes out crowing. Amazon comes out and says, we bought Christmas, or Black Friday was the best thing ever in the history of man. You know what they did this year? They didn't say a word. Have you seen anything from Amazon about what? How they've been doing? Now let's take a look at both sides of this coin. That could mean that they're doing awful, which is physically impossible. Folks, Amazon has gone what we call in aviation NORDO, meaning no radio. They're not transmitting. You know why? Because how many times during this did you hear we should shut down Amazon or Target or Walmart and help small business out, and Amazon's destroying America and this? Guess what? Jeff Bezos is not an idiot. Jeff Bezos can be as quiet as a church mouse. He's the richest dude in the world. Why does he have to crow? What am I getting at? Part of my commit criteria is the fact that I don't think we even can comprehend that they did that over here. This whole look at this. I remember this earnings. They had never in the history of Amazon. It was insane. Their profit, folks, and their revenue per year looks like a hockey stick. It's literally straight up. During this pandemic, what have people been doing? Sitting at home, buying stuff off of Amazon. So that's a lot of commit criteria. Yeah, exactly, Rebecca, for antitrust. People, Democrats and Republicans in DC are sitting here like, we got to break up Amazon. This thing's huge. But legally, folks, when they do earnings, they're going to have to be honest. They can lie and somebody would go to jail. So my commit criteria is I think tech stocks are going to have blowout numbers. Now, remember, because somebody asked earlier, hey, this bull put spread, which we'll cover the trade in a second, goes against your sell the news. Well, listen to me. When is Amazon? When are Amazon's earnings? Next week, right? I think it's the second. The second. So we're going to get a little bit of Apple and Microsoft this weekend and Amazon next week. So I think the XLK stays up, right? Does that make sense? And then it'll give up the ghost, right? I think we got a solid week here to be bullish, and then after Amazon reports, all bets are off. It's going to be shit show February. Everybody understand that? That commit criteria is way too long, but I wanted to talk through it. Now the tactic. Let's go to step 4 in our trade plan. Let's bring up the XLK. All right, so the XLK. E-Trade is slow today. Thank you. So nice little run up here, and then obviously today's a little bit of a pullback. We had a big drill bit today, and that's where I placed the bull put spread that I was doing. Let's take a look at the trade rate here. I'm going to hit copy. So on your screen right now is an order ticket, and the XLK is the symbol. So I'm bullish on the XLK as we brief. So I'm employing a tactic called a bull put spread. I'm bullish. I'm using puts, and it's a spread, hence a bull put spread. Some of you know this tactic as a credit spread, and it can also be called that because we're bringing in a credit. We're getting paid to do this trade. And finally, it can also be called a vertical spread. I don't like calling something 3 things. I'm bullish, I'm using puts, and it's a spread. So I identify this tactic as a bull put spread. For me, so let's take a look at that chart. I don't think Amazon, I like this one. Look at that right there. Support, a little bit of support, but with that drill bit here, 131 and a half ish. Okay. So I sell, and for me, this is actually my personal account. I sell 300 of Fridays. This is weekly options. These are when weekly options expire, Friday. So this is a short-term trade. It's tactical. I'm selling 300 of Friday's 131 and a half puts. What's that saying? That's me saying to the XLK, hey man, I don't think you're going to be below 131 and a half by Friday. Remember, in our options basics, sellers have what? Obligations. Buyers have rights. So when I sell these 131 and a half puts, I'm obligated to deliver the XLK at that strike. But I don't think it's going down there. I think it's going up. So I sell the puts underneath it. Again, I'll teach you all of this in the full throttle training. That's why we do the 8 sessions at night with a glass of wine, because during the briefs, I want to be able to fly through a tactic and not turn it into an hour session about a bull put spread. That's what we do. This is, in the military, we call it demo do. Demonstrate in the training, and then we do when we get airborne. Now, what if I'm wrong? What if for some reason Apple and Microsoft report blowout earnings and it is a sell the news this week? The market's not going to wait to hear what Amazon has to say, and the XLK starts imploding. Well, what I want to do if that happens, I want to have some puts underneath that, right? If the thing's going to implode, I want some put protection. So I'm going to buy the downside puts at the 131 strike. Okay. Now, when I sent out the text and email alert to my current members, I got filled at 17 cents. Okay, so let me put 17 in here. Oh, 17 is in here. Now, in the text alert, you probably saw at the end of it, I put plus or minus. And that plus or minus means, hey, I try and get filled on this bull put spread at 17 cents plus or minus about 2 cents, meaning the lowest I'd go for today is 15 and maybe the highest I'd go is 19. If it's outside of that range, that means XLK is either moving up or moving down, and I might not want it. I might want to move those strikes and adjust the trade, right? So that's why I give a range. Now let's talk about the bad first. This is real easy to remember. You know, in aviation, folks, we have acronyms, we have all sorts of stuff that kind of, because I'm a caveman, and especially, you know, trying to land aboard the boat at night in bad weather after flying over Iraq, you're on what we call stem power sometimes. Just your brain stem's the only thing that's working. So we come up with acronyms or nice, easy to remember rules of engagement. If I bring in a credit, remember I'm getting paid to do this trade. I'm bringing in a credit of 17 cents. If I bring in that credit of 17 cents, what do I want of that? I want it all, man. Pigs get slaughtered. We'll talk in a second about that. But hell, Wiz, I want the $5,100 between now and Friday. Me too. But that implies that the 17 cents kind of goes to zero. It's called expiring worthless, meaning as the week goes on, if the XLK hangs out where it is or starts going up, this trade starts decreasing in price, which is great. That's what we want. We want all 17 cents right here in our pocket. Let's talk about the bad. Let's say that XLK, for whatever reason this week, starts going down. Well, if the XLK starts going down, this credit will start increasing, and that's not something that we want to have happen. So here's my rule of thumb, my SOP for this trade, for a credit spread. I simply double the credit that I took in as my potential eject point. I got filled on this trade at 17 cents. Using political science math, I would maybe eject from this trade if it goes up to 34 cents. Okay? Why would I eject? Well, if you attended last night and you listened intently, if a trade's going against you, what do? You go back to step 3 of our trade plan. Commit criteria. I just gave you my commit criteria why I'm getting into this trade. If this trade goes up to 34 cents, I'm going to go back to, and I need to do 50 push-ups. I usually write my trades on these like index cards, these kneeboard cards, and put them in a little folder. I go back and I read my commit criteria. Hey man, why did I get into this trade? Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh crap. Nope, we are selling off on the news. Time to eject. But if I go back and read my commit criteria, why I got into this XLK trade, and they're all still valid, I don't eject. I put the cigar in my mouth, scarf out the window, and I'm the pilot in command. Okay? That's the bad. Let's talk about the good. I said pigs get slaughtered. If I'm looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on this credit that I took in, I close it. Pigs do get slaughtered, folks. If I'm looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on this $5,100, I close it. Why? Because Wiz was greedy and a pig early in my trading career. I'd sit here Friday afternoon and look and be like, man, I made $4,700 on this trade so far. I'm up 90% on this trade. But I'm greedy. I want the remaining $600. And guess what happens? The next day, breaking news, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon are the Antichrist, and the stocks went to zero. Do not turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. I've done it. I'm sure a lot of you folks have done it, and it hurts, it sucks, and you never want to do it again. Everybody understand? Do not turn a winning trade into a losing trade. Okay. All right. So now we didn't even get to the risk. Yes. Here we go. So check this out. I'm going to teach you every time. Yeah, this trade's looking pretty good. I think it's already up. Where are we? Where's it? XLK. It's already up $1,000, which is great. So I'm going to turn into a Catholic nun, which is creepy. Don't get that visual of me. But I'm going to have a ruler in my hand, and if you don't do what I tell you to do right now, I'm going to crack your knuckles. As soon as I click on where it says snapshot analysis, your eyes are going to go to one place and one place only, and that is max potential loss. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Right here. Right there. Look at the angry face. Why am I telling you to do this? Don't ever look at risk and go, dude, I'd love to make $5,100 by Friday. Who wouldn't? You ready to lose 10 grand? No, then don't do it. Or now, folks, I needed to be doing this over my paper trading account. I can set it up over there. But this, folks, is based on 300 contracts. I trade a large account. This is my personal account. Again, I'm not giving you investment advice. This is me, man. I'm trading 300 contracts. Wiz, I don't want to risk 10 grand. Don't. I'm comfortable with 5. Okay, then let's do some political science math. That would be 150 contracts. I want to risk a grand. Okay, maybe that's 30 contracts. I don't know, folks. We have people here trading accounts bigger than mine that do 600 contracts, 1,000. I can't tell you what to do. All you have to do, folks, is a little bit of mental math. Well, geez, if Wiz is risking 10 grand in this trade and doing 300 contracts, you have to scale yourself as appropriate, right? People do 1 contract, do 1 million, do 0. I can't tell you what to do, but this is me. But for demonstration purposes, you have to turn into a fighter pilot right here and put a check mark there. I acknowledge that is my max risk, period. You are the PIC of your portfolio, not me. I flew a single seat F-18. I can't jump into your cockpit, it would be a little tight, and fly your airplane for you. I'm here to teach you to be an independent single seat fighter pilot trader. Does that make sense? So Christina, small account here. I do 1 to 2 contracts and still making money. Thank you. You're awesome, Christina. I love seeing that. So once you put a check mark here and say, I acknowledge that risk, I ain't going to be happy if that happens, but I'm okay. I know it. You need to come up with an SOP amount that isn't going to wipe you out. This is about 10% of my model portfolio of this personal account. How'd I come up with 10%? Because it's enough. If this hits max loss, it's going to sting, but I'm not wiped out. It always amazes me to talk to retail traders who don't, hey, I'm in this trade and it's making money. And I'm like, okay, great. How much can you lose? And they're like, it's making money. I'm like, I didn't ask you that. How much could it lose? And they usually walk away. It's not the way to trade. It's awful way to trade. If you look at this max potential profit as the first thing, you're going to be an awful trader. Now, let's go take a look at the picture over here. I love credit spreads. I love being the house for a couple reasons. Look at that dotted line. That's currently the price of the XLK, which has turned positive. And come on, baby. Here comes the market. We make money. Look at this. 3 out of 4 ways we make money on this trade. Isn't that awesome? I love those odds. XLK goes up. Duh, we make money. You know how we also make money? It doesn't move. The XLK could sit here like this until Friday. We make money. Look at this, folks. The XLK can even go down. What? You heard me. As long as it stays above our break even. How do we lose money, folks? It goes below that break even. Okay. So with a bull put spread, a credit spread, we make money 3 out of 4 ways. And I love the fact that in a credit spread, you can sit here and make money if it's not going anywhere. don't want your eyes to glaze over, but in options trading, there's stuff called the Greeks, right? And the main Greek that we concern ourselves with a bull put spread in this case, is a Greek called theta. It's time decay. So every day that goes by between now and every minute that I'm talking to you about this trade that goes out to Friday, we make money. Look at this. Let me grab my little thing. As we fly forward on this trade, okay, well, that wasn't the right thing to do. Trust me, this thing's scroll wheel. It's called unchanged, right? You ever hear the term unched? Or if you see at the bottom of the screen, it says UNCHD. Unched on the day equals time decay. Every day that goes by in this trade, we make money on time decay, okay? Now, again, and look at that. XLK, go baby. In full throttle training, I'm going to give you an hour lecture on a bull put spread on spreads. Okay. So if you're sitting here going, man, I'm drinking from the fire hose, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Okay. Now let's look at currently looking at this. Yeah, this is a good looking trade. Now, somebody asked earlier if I'd consider maybe legging into an iron condor. The answer is hell no. I think the XLK is going to have a good week. I would not put a lid on top of it. If there are blowout tech earnings, and the market decides not to sell on the news, because remember, folks, it's a Wall Streetism, meaning it happens a lot, but sometimes it doesn't. I've seen tech earnings be blowout and the tech just keep rallying. That's happened. So this is I feel it. And I'm also, as I told you in the commit criteria, Amazon isn't until next week. So I think the XLK gets a nice little lift this week and into next, and then all bets are off. We might be pounding this thing into the dirt. Okay. All right. Now, weekly options is supposed to be 30 minutes from noon to 12:30. I went to 12:41, but I had to. A little bit of an intro, a little bit of a talking through the tactic a little bit more than I do when we're in here with just members, because we got a ton of people in here. Okay. Now let me start scrolling back and answering a question. David, missed this one, didn't get filled. That's a good point. So folks, if you got the text alert, if you're a member and you got a text alert and it's outside the range, what could you potentially do? Well, it looks like the XLK is starting to move away from us, Wiz. Well, then maybe you adjust the strikes. Maybe instead of the 131 and a half, 131, other direction, you do the 132, 131 and a half, right? Maybe you just move the strikes up 50 cents, 132. It would be is there a 132 strike? No, they go to $1 wide. Oof. Well, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that one then. But yeah, good question. So that's why I give a range. If it's outside the range, that it's moving, and it's moving for a reason. So maybe you adjust your strikes. Okay. Bob, hey Wiz, I know you don't trade GameStop. Nope, absolutely not. Not even going to talk about it, man. That's insanity going on with Fizz and GameStop, and it's gambling. I don't even want to talk about it, man. I don't talk gambling. You could make a lot of money, you can get wiped out. I wouldn't even go near any of those things, guys. We at Top Gun Options, we focus on nice base hits, man, and that's what we do here. So it's insanity going on with that. Eliza, Amazon can also say they are investing billions and the stock can come down. I agree, Eliza. That is, they did that one of those quarters, didn't they? I forget when that was with Amazon. They had blowout earnings, but then they're like, yeah, but we're going to take a ton of our cash and do this with it. And the market didn't like it. Yeah, I remember that. Companies can do a lot of things. We're going to pull forward some deferments and tax this or pay that. And I get it, man. But you can only hide, how good you're doing for a while, right? Oh yeah, the VIX. Those VIX calls we looked at last week, man, they're up $2,600 since last week. The VIX, folks, is if you're not aware, is the volatility index. It's kind of the altimeter, the barometer, the quote fear gauge of the market. I love Joe Biden. Signs a executive order requiring masks on all federal property and goes to the Lincoln Memorial and doesn't wear his mask. The rules are for thee, not for me. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, here we go. So look at the VIX, folks. Let's look at a 1-year chart of the VIX. Freak out, no freak out. 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 Look how long we've gone, ladies and gentlemen. With the VIX is a heart rate monitor. We're going to talk more about this tomorrow. I'm going long. This will be in the primary brief, but look at the interval between freakouts. These are pretty damn equidistant. The market gets used to, hey, everything's good for a couple months. Let's get out and take some profit. Boom. I'm telling you, there's going to be a freak out in February, and we're going to love it here. We're going to print money doing it. This is why I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do, man, because I love empowering people. Most folks who are new to options are like, wait a minute, we can make money as the market's going down? Yeah, and markets go down a hell of a lot faster than they go up. Look at us today, man. We're still doing this escalator up. My bad bull put spread might actually finish the day. I don't think we rally that much. Look at that. So there's a little double top here. If we bust through this with airspeed, man, we're going back up to where we were earlier today, which is awesome. Chris, yeah, the dude lives on federal property. Chris, do you use the Dow Transports Index as an indicator for the economy? Chris, that's an interesting question because the answer is I did and then I don't. I'm not joking. Halfway through the pandemic, after the Fed dropped a nuke, what was it, April? Was it April? Whenever the day capitalism died. Later in that week, I have a big bookshelf. I think I put into the recycling bin almost every book of trading, invest, everything I threw out. Why? You can't, the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department, folks, this isn't your father and mother's stock market, folks. We are in completely different territory with what's going on. That's why you have to be Johnny on the spot, ready for the next market implosion, because it's going to be violent. You're going to have a lot of Robin Hooders who aren't used to a down market, and they're not used to getting a call at 2:30 in the afternoon from their broker asking for more money with a margin call. So Dow transport theory was good, right? FedEx, the financials and the transports used to lead us into a good market and into a bad market. But now I got to be honest with you, Jerome Powell can step in and start buying stocks. It's insane. It just doesn't make any sense. All right, guys, I got to get going because I have solo Amazon at 2:00. Like I said, it's not part of Full Throttle. Maybe in a couple weeks we can talk about solo Amazon if folks want to join that. But good stuff. Sent out the trade. Let me just review everything. Well, now you can get this for 14 cents. It's still a good trade, but I'd prefer 15 or 16, but that's still looking good. And the calls that I bought in our investment clubs are up $2,400. I'm liking that. So don't get eliminated. MXC, most extreme elimination challenge. Okay, good. So as a reminder, for the folks who are here for free, we have the primary live trade brief tomorrow morning at 10, and we'll most likely start opening slots. Hopefully you're enjoying what we're doing here at Full Throttle. I'm not one of the dudes that sits here for an hour and a half with 92 PowerPoint slides saying what we did, and then here's a big price to join our service. I open up the doors and you see exactly what we're doing, and nobody else in the industry does this. They look at me and they're like, dude, you don't charge for that? I'm like, what do you know? It should sell itself. Jordan, which service is best for beginners? I'm going to answer that tomorrow morning when we start opening up the doors to our squadron. Okay. I'm always torn a little bit about starting Full Throttle week with weekly options because it is a little bit more tactical. And there you go. Come on, big push right through here, and we're heading higher because it is a little bit more tactical. But hey, man, I literally just like opening the doors to our squadron and you guys getting to come in and watch flight operations. So this was a normal weekly options brief that unfortunately went really long because we're doing some Full Throttle. But yeah, if we pop through here with some airspeed, man, this is going to be a good day. 10 a.m. All times are Eastern. Tomorrow is 10 a.m. Wednesday is noon, and then 8 p.m. at night, where we're going to wrap up. Okay. All right, folks. I'll have the replay posted on the replay page shortly. And for current members, I'll have the trade posted on the member page within a couple minutes here. Okay. But you already got it via email and you already got it in your text alert. So it's kind of triple redundancy. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. And I'll see many of you for solo Amazon at 2 o'clock. Cheers.